Today in the program, setting up a company in the sphere of power saving, power audit, and field-oriented consulting, or way from an ordinary lawyer to a businessman who preserves not only the money of his clients, but strategic resources of the planet as well. Consumption of electric power by humanity is increasing nearly in geometric progression. Every year, more and more megawatts are required. And of course, from year to year, the issue of electric power conservation is becoming more topical. The best minds of the world are working on power-saving technology, which decreases consumption of electric power and waste of heat and power. Today, the hero of our program is the head of one of the leading Kazakhstani companies in this field, whose job is not just to save the money of his clients, but while saving their consumption of power, to decrease emissions of harmful substances into the atmosphere and consumption of power resources.
Компания наша, в принципе, относительно молодая, ей всего 3 года, занимается одним из направлений перспективных.
In general, our company is quite young. It is only 3 years old. It deals with one of its promising fields. It is power saving, implementation of power management systems, power audits on various sites, from flats down to big production sites. It was one of the first companies accredited to carry out a power audit.
Компания, которая была аккредитована в республике на право проведения энергоаудита. В настоящее время мы провели аудиты на различных крупных.
Currently, we have carried out audits on different big and medium production sites. One of those projects was our Almaty airport. We have carried out its total survey and demonstrated where the airport could cut down its expenses on electric power and heat power.
Аэропорт может сократить свои затраты по электроэнергии, тепловой энергии.
The issue is in high demand, so that for only a few years, Yerkin and his team have implemented a whole range of significant projects for the major Kazakhstani companies whose energy demands are quite considerable and have a substantial impact on ecology.
Были проекты в коммунальных службах, то есть это.
We've had the projects in municipal services. This is our Almaty water company. I can say we have carried out a survey of the whole town of Aktobe, the Aktobe steam power plants, the Aktobe heating systems, the system of boiler houses. There were 26 of them where we have revealed a big potential for power economy.
26 котелен было, вот, где мы тоже выявили большой потенциал для энергии.
Moreover, we have carried out surveys of the water company of the town Aktobe. That is to say, we have fully tested engineering systems and municipal systems of Aktobe. Aktobe is our future cosmopolitan, which is why we can be proud of it.
Это наш будущий мегаполис, вот, поэтому можно этим как бы гордиться, да?
Before coming to the field of power-saving technology, Yerkin has realized his potential in a totally different field. He got a law degree and successfully worked in that field.
А когда я заканчивал школу, это в 96-м году уже, да, то есть стоял выбор профессии, то есть куда идти, да.
When I finished high school in 1996, I had to choose a profession, where to go, and at that moment engineering professions were not popular, and I followed the advice of my relatives to study law at the Higher School of Law Adilet. Why there? Because the teaching staff was rather competent at that time.
Атлет. Вот. Почему туда? Потому что преподавательский состав на тот момент был очень сильный. Когда я заканчивал...
When I graduated from university, I got a job at a private consulting company, which did accounting and legal services. What is more, I got a good position of the deputy head of the company.
Ну, и причем сразу на хорошую позицию, там, исполняющую обязанности директора компании.
Successful people often say that they have gone through hardships in life when they could despair and give up. And the only thing they have in common is that they didn't give up and continued their way to win. Our hero did the same. During the global recession, he lost it all.
Были моменты, когда вообще находился без работы, вот, и я в этот период женился.
There were moments when I was unemployed, and at that time I got married and had to move on. So I started helping my father, who has his own electrical installation company. Not quite a big company, but a brigade. I started doing electrical installation. Taking a perforator, I went to flats and did repair works, electric wiring, and so on.
Ездил по квартирам, делал ремонт, и электропроводки и так далее, с перфоратором. Вот. Было интересно в том плане, что мы жили тогда в общежитии. Я купил себе перфоратор, чтобы садился утром рано, вставал, садился в автобус.
It was an interesting period. We lived in a dormitory. I brought a perforator. I got up early, got on a bus. I'd put the perforator and workwear in the backpack. Came to a flat, took the things out and did repairs. In the evening, I tried to fix myself and went to English classes on the Dustik Avenue.
Привести себя в порядок и ехал на проспект Ленина, как он, проспект Достык, да, на курсы английского языка. Параллельно еще рассылал резюме, да, смотрел, где можно устроиться на работу.
I was sending my CV and looking for a job. At the same time, I was working at an affiliate of Kazatomprom, the Institute of High Technology. The company dealt with exploitation of uranium deposits, which was very interesting. Afterwards, I got a job at the Kazakhstani-Chinese pipeline, the oil pipeline Kazakhstan-China. I work within my specialty as a lawyer.
Казахстанский трубопровод, то есть это проект нефтепровод Казахстан-Китай, то есть, это уже по специальности, то есть юристом.
Yerkin didn't give up and agreed to do common work in the field of the electric system, which enabled him to get a very important practical experience, which in its turn gave him an opportunity to see the prospect of the current field. And having got a good position by legal specialty, he decided to leave the comfort zone and do power saving.
В 2012 году, изучая новые изменения в законодательстве,
While studying new amendments in legislation in 2012, I became familiar with the law on power saving and power efficiency, which was adopted in January 2012. I noticed that it was an interesting theme about power audit, which is actually topical today. It is in demand, and in other words, it is carrying out surveys for the purpose of power saving and power efficiency. In our country, a big number of enterprises were set up in the Soviet time, namely from the 60s to the 80s, and operate using old technology.
Большее количество предприятий создано еще в советское время, то есть 60-е, 70-е, 80-е годы, то есть и работают по старым технологиям. Поехал в Ассоциацию энергоаудиторов Казахстана, Казахстанская ассоциация энергоаудиторов.
I went to the Association of Power Auditors of Kazakhstan and got acquainted with its president, and I found out that the market of auditors doing work on power audit is not so big. That thought stuck firmly in my mind. The next day I literally went and registered it for myself and started to prepare a document to get the accreditation.
Я буквально на следующий день поехал и зарегистрировал компанию, и начал готовить документы на получение аккредитации.
Of course, the question of the staff came up. Although Yerkin had to get substantial practice in installation of electric systems, he was sure he needed the best specialist of the country.
Я пригласил одного специалиста, который сейчас является техническим директором нашей компании, Серик Букубаев. Он специально, я его...
I invited a specialist who is now the technical director at our company, Serik Bukubayev. I brought him from Balkhash. I think currently he is one of the best specialists, namely amongst the power auditors.
Именно энергоаудиторов. И мы создали команду молодых, но очень таких перспективных и грамотных людей, которые владеют ситуацией, знают.
We have made a team of young but promising and intelligent people who can control the situation and are aware of new existing innovations, and they know what to offer, and basically owing to this team we work.
В компании и при работе я всегда придерживался того принципа, что может быть минимальная прибыль, да, в компании, или ее вообще может и не быть, да.
While setting up the company and doing work, I always stuck to the principle that the profit might be minimal or might not be at all, but the main thing was the staff. In fact, the staff is everything, and I did my best to provide our staff, my specialists in the company, with a good salary and stable fees, social taxes and pension payments. All these give value to the company.
Платежи соцотчисления, пенсионные платежи, да, и так далее. Вот. Это придает и ценность компании на самом деле, да.
Working in the field of power saving is a huge segment of activity. Here it is important not only to decrease power consumption of devices, but also you have to consider heat waste, taking into account architecture and construction peculiarities of the site, waste of power from systems, and even to analyze habits of personnel to use electric equipment. The first stage is a preparation stage when our specialists go to a site and get familiar with an enterprise and study documents. To analyze the case of the enterprise, it is necessary to gather a pile of documents. What kind of enterprise it is, what it produces, what power resources it consumes, let's say in what amount shown by years from the last 5 years. Then we prepare the program of carrying out a power audit. The program is made for each enterprise separately. We follow the regulations of tool development, so we have a big stock of tools, starting with thermal imagers, down to analyzers of power quality, flow meters, and gas detectors. At the second stage, we carry out these surveys, namely tool measuring, so specialists go on site and according to regulations, which we discuss with a customer, we carry out a tool survey, namely quality, an amount of power consumed per a certain period of time. It may be per day, per week, or per month. All depends on the site itself. We carry out a thermal survey of enclosing structures, the buildings themselves. We calculate expenditures on gas and water consumption. For each measuring, we take a record of measuring which is signed by our employees and employees of our customers, confirming we get the certain data at a certain period. A serious and system approach of Yerkin Gabdullin to power audit was noticed by specialists not only in Kazakhstan, but abroad as well, which is why Yerkin was invited to share experiences in the USA. And his programs on optimization of Kazakhstani enterprises were highly evaluated by his American colleagues.
Им понравились наши программы, которые мы реализуем по энергосбережению, да, и то, что мы вообще обращаем внимание на это.
They liked our programs we implemented for power saving and the fact we pay attention to it. As everybody knows, in spite of being a raw material producing country, namely we have a lot of resources, they say we have enough coal for 300 years. And they say oil and gas reserves are large, but owing to the activity of our president and authorities, the government is thinking about our succeeding generations, and they implement these programs. I think it is rather useful and necessary.
И вот эти программы по энергосбережению внедряют. Это очень полезно, это очень нужно, я считаю, да.
From his parents, Yerkin inherited a warm attitude to people, no matter it is a client or an employee or a stranger. This positive attitude led him not only overcome hardships in life, but set up the company where a friendly atmosphere of soulmates prevails, and he passes on these values further.
В своей семье, где у меня растет дочь и сын, я пытаюсь привить, помимо тех качеств, которые мне привили.
In my own family, where my son and daughter are growing up, I try to teach them a patriotic feeling apart from treating people well and respecting older people that my parents taught me. Our generation has lived in the period of changes, and I might say our state is formed. And now, first of all, we need such feelings like patriotism, love for the motherland, knowledge of history, and knowledge of the mother tongue.
В первую очередь, да, любовь к своей родине, знание истории, знание языка.
Every man is successful in his own way, but in these hundreds and thousands of ways there are certain rules that equally correspond to either a technical or creative fields, to those who work with equipment and those who deal with people. It is an attitude to your business, and Yerkin keeps to these principles.
Ничего не стоит бояться, все в этой жизни выполнимо.
The founder of a huge corporation, Virgin, is Richard Branson. Such people inspire me. They tell us we shouldn't be afraid of anything. All is possible in this life. And I always look forward, and at the same time I look back to see what way I have taken. Overall, it isn't so long, but I see what opportunities are ahead. And that is why I'm not afraid to start these things, and I push myself forward.
И стремиться идти вперед.